And over time, will they build beds?
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. We had oysters that we planted here 3 years ago, and we came in and we saw offspring. Like the oysters that we grew the first year had an identifying mark of like a long black line that goes right down the center of the shell, and so we were able to find offspring that had similar black stripes. So we know that there was some reproduction.
Attached one time, and when they're growing in an aquaculture facility, they put something in the water so they attach to that. On a farm, you don't want them attached. So these are just going to sit down, and then their offspring. That's the idea. Is that by the time they're harvestable size, they'll be able to spawn a couple of times. Just like the way they do the lobster fishery.
A random sample that have 25% over.
Okay.
And that's the bucket that I'm going to go through. The rest of them are fine.
Okay. Why do you have to go through them?
It's under a different permit, which we don't have permission for. So once they're above 25 millimeters, it becomes aquaculture, not propagation. And we don't have permission from DMF for that.
So were these buckets good to go? Or?
Yeah, those ones are good.
And so when they go in, you don't want them attaching right away? Or
Well, they're not going to attach.
They can't?
They can't. Okay. They only attach once, and when they're in the hatchery throws very fine sand or ground up shell for them to attach to that, because they want to be able to tumble them and feed them and sift them around without them grabbing onto each other and harming each other when you separate them.
So at what point will they attach to something out here?
They're going to just lay down right now, and then they're not going to attach. Their children will. Their spawn will.
I'll walk down to where the 5 meters.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So pretty much what we're doing is we're surveying the stretch that we're going to put the oysters in and figuring out what's there currently. Right, so we'll find some oysters from our last pudding. Back out there. Yep, that's alive. Yeah, so there's all sorts of other stuff that's probably not ideal. Rusty pipes, works, things of that nature. Yeah.
Alright, here's 5 meter right here.
All right. So what are we doing? Just
We're doing the
scientific study.
the pre-release site survey. We have funding for this came through a grant, and when we wrote the grant, we had to come up with these standard protocols.
Yep.
And this is one of the protocols. So before we release, we're doing a site survey to document
What
what's
currently exists and what, so you can get it before and after.
exactly.
So then, when do they want you to do another one afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay. And that would be next year, or how many months down
No,
the
that
road?
would be right after we release them, and then we have to come back like every 3 months.
Every 3 months.
Yeah.
That's gonna be cold.
That's okay. We've done them like that. We did it like that last year. All right. What have we got?
further in, we can capture some of these. That big line was about with that rock. See, there's a lot here. I mean, not a lot, but there are some.
Easy picking ones are gone. That's good.
All right, let's walk down to the 10-meter mark.
We should probably memorial after this.
The ones that we have.
All right, 10-meter mark right here.
Alright, head right there.
Yep.
Push up. Right here.
Yep.
You want me to
We'll
pull
be
it out?
spreading some in this area as well. Because it's actually good bottom for them, and the seaweed kind of hides them a little bit. If you look closer, you will see some oysters in there. A lot
They
of
give them a little bit of food too as traps.
Yeah, might slow down the flow a little bit.
Sarah, you were right here. And this one.
Yeah. It's good they're involved.
This one oyster, that's a wild one. That's a baby one.
If it's attached, it's a wild one or one of our young ones.
Here. Let's see.
And soft shells.
Have one wild oyster.
Okay.
Approximately 5 or 50 millimeters.
Soft
Attached
shell.
to rock.
Gravel bottom. Mussel bed. Seaweed, yeah.
Oh, wow, one going inside of another, huh?
Right here.
A lot of mussels. Seaweeds. Seems like same old, same old.
Okay, well, we just have to write it down.
Yep. Yeah, I think periwinkles, mussels. No oysters?
No oysters.
A dead soft shell clam.
Alright.
Substrate is like mussel bed and gravel.
Yeah, so I think we just want to do an even dispersal as best we can.
This is the fun time, folks. This is what it's all about.
Woohoo!
Alright. So do you want to kind of lay them out?
Wild it up. Look at the camera.
Zoom in on them?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is this the ship that's what they do?
Yeah, towards, yeah. You can walk across it.
You have a higher bootstrap.
There's a lot of no food.
I don't want to kill all the oysters.
So where did we measure from? That rock there? This rock?
We measured from right here.
Yeah, but it's.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we started at one of those boxes.
Yeah, you can just like pull that down. Hey, Catherine. Can you give us a little bit Dr. T? Face shot of you. Face shot of you. What?
Good action shot, girl. Ready?
How you actually go to This is the scope of survey. Do you want his gloves off?
How big is it?
It's
Like frame your face with it and then we'll. There we go.
Right here? Anyone want to sub in? Steve? President? Let's get some. Steve, so this next bucket I'll do for
Where do you want the second bucket?
So they're satisfying tasks.
Where do you guys want the second bucket?
the second bucket.
Yeah, it's over there right now.
Yep, we'll bring that second bucket that way.
Where is the second bucket?
It's over there. Let's go. I see a season. Look. Here, watch.
of the black spots. Sometimes it's in a line form, sometimes it's more of in a splotch. But they all have a black marking, which a wild one you wouldn't see that in. The other way to distinct these from a wild oyster, in the wild, they're going to attach to a rock or some kind of substrate, whereas the way that we get them as spat, there's nothing there for them to attach to, so ours are just free floating, where a wild one will want to attach to something out there.
And then you can see the offspring. If the offspring have attached to something, you can
Yep.
see it by the band.
Exactly. So this year, since these are the ones we put in 2 years ago, they're breeding age. This spring, we're going to put in what we call recruitment tiles, and it's pretty much just a concrete block, just like a little brick almost. And we'll see if anything attaches to them, and that will kind of help us tell, if they're reproducing.
It was one of ours. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Zoom in.
We're gonna lay claim to it anyway.
Oh, it definitely is. Black marking.
Pants aren't
You
wet.
can kind of see it on this young one as well. That's how we tell that they're ours. We can also tell because they're just free-floating oysters. They're not attached to anything, which a wild oyster would attach to a rock.
So the big one is how old?
2 years.
And the smaller one is 6 months?
About 6 months. Yep. So on average, they'll grow about an inch a year.
That we are releasing today are a little bit bigger than they would be in the wild. That's mostly because we just essentially force feed them, really take care of them, so they get the opportunity to grow much faster.
With the Mass Oyster Project, and who are you?
Yeah, so my name's Alyssa, and technically I'm an intern with the Massachusetts Oyster Project. So I finished up some care at the Upweller this summer. I also was an educator for them and at the Maritime Gloucester with their oyster program. So yeah, I've done a lot of research on the oysters and a lot of the statistics and data stuff with the oysters.
To this point, to working with the oysters.
Yeah, so I have a master's in marine biology and ecology, actually from Queensland, Australia. So after I finished that up, I moved back to the United States out here and really wanted to get involved with conservation work and educating the public about the conservation that can be done. So we kind of, me and Mass Oyster, we kind of found each other at just like the perfect time, and so yeah, I've been with them for a few months now. What we think is a wild native, and in my left, what we think is 2 of ours that we've released 2 years ago.
To document what we just put in the water. So we're going to do a survey of the densities at several different spots along this transect line to get some baseline data of what we just put in.
You can explain how you're doing that as you do it?
Yeah, so pretty much we put down a transect, which is a square, and we count the oysters within that. We'll do that at 5 different locations, and that gives us some baseline data here to base our future monitoring off of. So every 2 months we come out here and we do the same process, and we see how they grow, how they move, and how their distribution. That big rock is our starting point. So every time we do a survey, we start right there, and this line, every 5 meters, we do a survey out right into the water at dead low tide. So that gives us consistency from survey to survey, and we can kind of see how these oysters change and move around.
Who are you, and what do you do with the Mass Oyster Project?
Yep, so my name's Andrew Helton. I went to school at UMass Boston for environmental science, and I'm currently pursuing a master's in environmental policy at UMass Dartmouth. I got involved in Mass Oyster a few years ago. I had noticed oysters in one of my local saltwater marshes and was curious about their distribution in Massachusetts and how they're doing. Reached out to Mass Oyster, and then from there I kind of just got involved. Jumped right into some of their projects. So one of my roles in Mass Oysters is helping with the relocation sites that we have here. I also manage our state grant to do this work through Mass Bay, so I coordinate with them on our monthly reports and anything that they require.
What they need to do.
Yeah, so we're always looking for volunteers, be it events with the organization, usually in whatever capacity people can or are willing to get involved. The best way to get in touch with us is to just email us. Our email is on our website. If you go to massoysterproject.com or .org, I guess, you'll see our contact.
I'm a Shellfish Constable, so I manage Shellfish for the city of Gloucester. We do oysters, clams, raise the clams. We deal with both the commercial and the recreational fishery. The oysters, like we oversee the broadcasting of these oysters in here. What Steve does is he has a permit to grow them, and then we use a municipal permit, which is basically a permit issued to the city of Gloucester to be able to put them out here.
Okay.
So
what is your job as Shellfish Warden?
We handle the management of the fishery, the law enforcement aspect of it, the environmental aspect of it. We oversee predator control. I'm not sure if you guys heard of green crabs, but they target seed oysters, seed clams. So we handle predator control. We make sure that nobody's harvesting from polluted areas or during times when it's rained and toxins are high. So it's mainly a management, scientific, and a law enforcement job description aspect. So you're welcome.
We're helping the environment. We're helping to clean water and to create habitat, erosion control. There's all kinds of good things oysters do. I got involved because I'm an environmentalist, but being in the formerly in the seafood industry, the habitat part of it was a big thing for me, creating a habitat for the smaller creatures and the big fish eat the little fish and on and on and on. So it doesn't hurt to have shellfish in the water.